everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I would like to share with you about renewal, about entry date. So I've got lots of candidates ask me similar questions, so today I'm going to go through all of them with you. First of all, you may understand after your permanent visa is granted, you have that must not entry date. So that must not entry date is the date within the 12 months of your visa grant date. For instance, if today is 20th of June 2021, then must entry date will be 20th of June 2022. If your visa is granted today, then your must entry date is next year the same day. Okay, so what happens if someone can't enter within that date? Can they, they all wondering this. What's the problem? How am I going to do it? Is there anyone else doing it? We have lots of people, really. Candidate could not make this date. And that is fine. Okay, that is so fine because we have border control. Simple as that. Now, why you don't have need to worry about? And what happens with that? Okay, we have documents here. Below, you can simply download it and it's for free. You can simply download it, and if you enter Australia later on after the must entry date, you can present this letter to the border officer or to the airline. Okay, so as simple as that. You can just present the letter. It's download here. It's beneath here. You can just download for free. Now, why you don't have to meet the? Even and after the max entry date is okay because there is no cancellation policy. The department does not have a cancellation power if you could not meet this date. Okay, because your visa will be still valid for another 5 years. Another 5 years. Therefore, another 4 years, right after the first entry date. Another 4 years. So even you did not enter before the must enter date, your visa will not be cancelled. There's no cancellation power in relation to this area. That is the simple reason the department doesn't want to change any of the information here because they can't cancel. And what happens if someone say, okay, so that's a very simple question, no problem. If you have any issue, come back to me or download documents. Now, if you, let's say, if after that we don't have a border control, okay, next year, but you still don't want to enter Australia next year, I actually encourage you to make it as long as practical, okay? Just make an entry if there's no border control. Just make it happen because it will be helpful to show your later renewal of your entry, okay, later renewal, which is called resident return visa. Return visa is going to help for you. If you never has intention to enter Australia, what's the point for you to get permanent visa in the first place, right? Okay, now what happens if someone, okay, this is the second question. What happens if someone who does enter Australia anytime, but they don't want to stay? Can they leave? Okay, so they come to Australia, accompany their kids to enroll at school, and they want to leave and return back the home country. Is that okay? Yes, and why is that? First of all, this is a different matter. This is about border control. You have a visa to enter because you are Australian permanent visa holder. So Australia is not going to prevent you because whoever who's hold an Australian permanent visa or Australian citizen passport, they are able to enter Australia now, provided they do 14 days quarantine. That's it. So you can enter. That's first thing. What happens if you don't want to stay in Australia, but you stay for 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, and then you want to leave? Is that okay? Yes. Why? Because at the time you're leaving Australia, your permanent residence is not home in Australia yet, isn't it? You only stay 3 weeks, and you want to return back to Hong Kong, for instance. Now, this case, the border will let you go. If you have a problem, contact me. Well, they will let you go because you will not be a permanent resident. You hold Australia permanent visa under immigration law. However, you are not Australian permanent resident by definition. You only stay in Australia. So residence really related tax resident. Now, what's happening if someone says, okay, I want to enter Australia, all right, I want to enter Australia because I want to accompany my kids to enroll school. I want to leave Australia and sort out my house, and I'll come back Australia for another 3 weeks or 3 months later. Is that okay? Can department let you go? The border let you go? No. Why? Because therefore your intention of a resident is Australia, right? Now you're gonna tell us, okay, I'm leaving. I stay with the kids 3 weeks, enroll at school. I'm leaving now. But border office is gonna ask you, do you want to come back soon? And you say, yeah, I'm coming back because I'm going to start a whole season. I'm coming back. Now, because of this issue, they will not let you go. Majority case, that will not let you go. If you good luck, you can try it, but I would suspect they won't. Why? Because therefore, you're leaving, you make an intention to declare your permanent residence is Australia, and you make a declaration, tell them that. So I don't know how you figure out this, if you really did want to intern, but I'm just telling you, if you tell them, yes, I want to come back in a very soon, 3 weeks, that will not let you go, because you know the border control, right? So must enter Australia date. It's okay, you can enter after that date, but if you want, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, people who did enter but want to leave again, that's okay. But if they did enter, leave again, but want to re-enter, is not okay. And you're gonna figure out how to tell the border officer. And a valid date. And then so because there's no cancellation power if you did not enter Australia next 12 months. So there's no change in visa conditions. So everyone who's granting permanent visa now have the same visa condition. They must enter Australia prior to that date. But it's okay if you don't. Okay, it's okay because they have no cancellation power. Now, valid date is about 5 years, 5 years after your permanent visa is granted, not 5 years after your entry date. 5 years after your permanent visa is granted. So you must, whatever circumstance, you must renew this within 3 months of your visa expiry date. You must renew within 3 months of visa expiry date. People ask me, I've already got permanent visa, why on earth am I going to renew? Yes, that is Australian immigration law. Whoever holds Australian permanent visa, it doesn't mean they can use the same visa to enter Australia unlimited time with no deadline. They must only use the same visa to enter Australia within the next 5 years. That is a deadline. Deadline to enter is 5 years. And after that deadline, or before that deadline, make sure you want to renew another deadline. So another deadline, depending, and the length of that, depending on how long you stay in Australia during the 5-year period. If you stay in Australia 2 out of 5 years, then you be renewed another 5 years, which you have another 5 years to decide where to stay. And if you stay less than that, you're going to demonstrate you have Australia ties, okay? And the reason you want Australia, make Australia permanent home. So when we have this, they want to show you have a continuing commitment, because some people might, got permanent visa, they don't have intention to stay in Australia whatsoever. So the question is, so we want to invite you to do some kind of contribution here and be a taxpayer, and then you refuse that. So what do you think Australian government going to think about that? It's not for free. It's not for free lunch. You're going to contribute. You're going to show you have commitment. You're going to contribute tax. You can't just enjoy the benefits. The kids enjoy the free schooling, everything, and you don't want to pay a single tax. It doesn't make sense. You don't want that, and I suspect one of the candidates want to do that. Now, so therefore, you're going to renew your entry date. So for renew that, you will have another visa called the Returning Resident Visa, subclass 155 or 157 or 158. It doesn't matter, but this is really Returning Resident Visa. Returning Resident Visa gives the candidates a chance to renew their entry date, and they might give 5 years or 1 year or 3 months of a new entry date, and they must make it so they either during the time become Australia permanent resident or citizenship, or they continue renew all the time. So they continue renew all the time. So if they still want to keep the country's passport and because their own home country does not accept dual nationality, they don't want to become Australian citizen, therefore they do not want to give up their own nationality, they can continue renewing it by saying they will continue need to meet a residential requirement throughout. And this, it doesn't matter. So once your family got permanent visa approved it, they can renew on their own terms without you, including kids. Kids can become citizenship without you. You only need to consent their application, so they are not bound to you anymore. As long as they enter once, either your wife, or husband, they're not bound by you. They can renew on their own term, become Australian citizen, or continue renewing their permanent residence. Okay, so that's not going to affect your circumstance, not going to affect their circumstance. They can become Australian citizen later on, and you can decide, you know what, I don't want to be citizen, I just want to Australian permanent resident. I can keep renewing, and that is going to be beneficial anyway, isn't it? If you want to renew, your family members, they all hold Australian citizenship. It means you do have some kind of ties and commitment to Australia. Now, I encourage people, really, I help everybody to come to Australia. And within 6 months, I want you to do that, because you declare to me you're gonna make contribution, and if you don't want to do that, and then you later ask my help, then John, I haven't stayed even one day in Australia, I'm not going to help you with that. I'm sorry, but if you have no commitment to Australia, why on earth you want to enjoy Australia's benefits, isn't it? And then you send kids to here. And you're gonna have some commitment. Otherwise, this program won't be successful. If 5 years later, none of these or 50% of global talent independent visa holders never went to Australia, never pay any tax, and this program will not be successful, and which means it's going to be abolished. As simple as that. Because if the program is not successful, you're going to abolish it. So you do have obligation, honor to others and to Australian government, trying to, you mentioned that you're going to make a contribution, and I want you to succeed as well. And if you have any problem, our business, consultation, buying business or selling business, we have a bunch of professionals here, and then that's no problem for me to really communicate with them, help you. But I want you to make commitment to really, come to Australia. And I hope this one help you. If you have any problem, contact me directly. Thank you. Bye-bye.